Fox 4 is gearing up for the 2013 Komen Dallas County Race for the Cure. It's Saturday, October 19th at North Park Center. It's Dallas's largest annual breast cancer fundraiser. Proceeds fund life-saving breast health services for Dallas County residents and cutting-edge research to find a cure. Right up until race day, we'll be showing you how Komen Dallas County is making a difference in the lives of thousands of families.
And the Fowlers are one of those families. Zach and Jennifer are here tonight. They're going to talk to us about their journey to have a baby after battling breast cancer. So thank you so much to both of you for being here, sharing your story. Jennifer, you found out in 2010 that you had breast cancer, and you two had only been married for 9 months. You were still newlyweds. That is an awful lot to take in all at once, being newly married and breast cancer. Tell me about that.
It was hard. I mean, I think, you know, when you're newlyweds, you're still trying to figure out each other and which side of the sink you're leaving your toothbrush. Right. And, you know, it's a hard time because you're trying to go through newlywed bliss, but then you have breast cancer and your husband's having to change your bandages from your surgery and wash your hair and some things that I don't think you expect to do as newlyweds. We really had to kind of jump in and experience those.
And talk a lot about things that people when they're first married don't necessarily have to, which is going through a health crisis, something like this, and starting a family pretty much right away, at least because you were 36, young. So you went pretty much, what, from an oncologist to a fertility specialist. What was the next move then for you?
For us, I mean, when I got diagnosed, and that was kind of a big question for us, is like, okay, so what does this mean for me, for us, for fertility and to try to have a family? And they recommended that we visit with a fertility doctor and kind of walked us through the steps. And basically for us, it was to do egg harvesting before all of my surgeries and my treatment began. So for us, it was insurance. We just didn't really know what the next, 5 years or so was going to hold for us. So it gave us an option.
So Zach, what was that like for you? This is the woman you loved. You just walked down the aisle with her, and now you're changing bandages, you're washing hair, you're doing all those things that she said, and now you're also going through fertility. Talk about that.
Well, it's tough from a cancer perspective because you can't put yourself in her position as her husband. You don't know how she feels, what she's going through. As a guy, you want to fix things, and you can't fix this. And so once I kind of was able to wrap my hands around that, I went to her and said, Jennifer, what can I do? How can I help out? And she said, just be there for me, educate yourself, learn about what I'm going through, and try to empathize with me as much as you can. And that, going to the appointments, going to the oncology appointments, going to the fertility appointments, I think that was what helped, I think, the most, and that's what she needed, just having that support system there. And it didn't necessarily feel like I was doing enough at the time, and maybe it still doesn't feel like I did enough, but that's what she needed, and so that's what I did.
Jennifer, do you feel like you did enough? I know just the way you're looking at him. I mean, I think just being there too, right?
It's hard. I don't think, going through it, I realized what he did and how he supported me, but I think now being on the other side of the fence, I look back and I think, gosh, he went through it all. I mean, he may not have had the stress of the test or, having to go to the appointments and what that emotions and stuff brings to you, but to be that other person, to have to see your spouse go through something like cancer is hard. I think it's got to be so hard.
So talk about then what Komen did, I think, for the two of you as a couple, turning to Komen for help.
I think we support Komen. I think being a breast cancer survivor, I was fortunate to have health insurance. And going through something like this, I can't imagine not having those resources and having health insurance. And so I think we support Komen because it provides those resources to those women who aren't able to have health insurance, just because it's such an emotional time. Having to worry about how your medical bills are going to be paid is just not something I think a woman should have to deal with. You've got so much going on.
Sure.
And for me, I think just the money also that's provided for research. 5 years ago, had I been diagnosed, I don't know if there would have been resources for me to have a baby.
Well, and let's talk about the baby. I know we've been showing video of Weston too. We've got to wrap it up, but we can't close out this segment with you guys without introducing Weston, who was born on race weekend last year, and he is going to be there at the race weekend coming up, and he will march as a 3-year survivor. And so we're so glad that this has all turned out so well for you guys. And Zach, you really have been wonderful, you know, with your wife and Jennifer. Thank you for sharing your story and for letting us meet little Weston, who again we're going to see on race day. So thank you.
For sure.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.